In this video, I've decided to just express my thoughts, talk to the camera a little bit. So, I haven't planned out what I'm going to say. I just want to really speak what's on my mind about, especially the topic of identity, who we are and what we experience in life. So, identity is an interesting concept. I think it's an interesting concept because, let's say, this idea of going out and finding yourself in life, it's become some sort of trend to go out and discover who you really are. And you might speak to a lot of different people in life who have been out. Maybe they've just gone out for a couple of weeks for a short vacation. They've gone to a Vipassana retreat. They've just done something, whatever it is. And they come back and they're like, I found myself, I'm a changed person. But I sort of think this is a load of bullcrap, because I don't think you really can actually find yourself. So, in my personal experiences, see, I've spent the last maybe 5 years or so finding myself by traveling the world, doing lots of interesting things, meeting lots of people, having lots of experiences, and I definitely don't regret anything. Like, it's been great. I've had so many great experiences, I've learned so much, and I've grown a lot as a person through these experiences. But I don't think you can ever really find yourself, because the more you dig into your identity, the more you try and discover who you really are beyond the layers of conditioning and influences, the more disillusioned you become in the process of it. So when you really start inspecting who you are, life becomes much more trippy, because the nuts and bolts of your identity start to unhinge, they come loose, and everything that you feel familiar with in your life, with your own mind about who you are, that starts to really come undone. It unwinds, and you start to really question yourself more and more and more. Like, who am I? Do you ever wonder what other people think of you? Like, imagine if you met yourself at a hostel or at a bar or just in public somewhere. What do you think you would think of yourself? So, a lot of us never really dig deep, I guess, into our own identities and who we are, and we never really explore ourselves. We never really get to disassemble this concept of I, this concept of me, myself, whatever that means to you, because even now, for me, I have no idea who I am, because I realize that I am a conglomerate of different programs and patterns and personality traits and characteristics. I am a changing concept. There is no I, because what has constructed this I is just all these different little pieces that I've taken from other people, that I've taken from my own experiences, that have built me up to be who I am. So I just think it's a really interesting concept, especially when you really get down to the roots of it and try and explore yourself. Is that this concept of who you are, it's sort of, how can I put this into words? It doesn't really exist. I don't think there is a consolidated object of what you are or who you are. And when you really think about it, every person has a different opinion of you. Every person will perceive you in a different way. So we tend to form our identities around the things we do, the things we like, particular characteristics and traits and ideas. So this forms the concept of yourself and who you are. And this is whether you associate yourself with like a particular persona. For example, you might perceive yourself as a nerdy person. You might perceive yourself as a bit strange. You might perceive yourself as this and that. But it's always changing. And to really reinforce this idea, I think people reinforce the idea of who you are. It's not so much about who you actually are, it's the feedback you get from other people that sort of consolidate your opinion of yourself and what you make of yourself. So, as I was getting into before, every person perceives you in a very different way. And no two people will perceive you exactly the same. you might go to some places and people will think you're this super cool, interesting person. Other people will perceive you as laid back. Other people will perceive you as like maybe a bit strange or a bit weird, maybe not even that likable. And it's sort of these ideas from what we are always being told, or the feedback we're always getting from other people, reinforce this idea of who we actually are. But you strip off the layers like an onion and you get down to the roots of it, and you realize that you are sort of, what actually are you? Who are you? And that's, I guess, the question I'm trying to raise in this video. Do you ever ask yourself, who actually are you? Like, who are you? Who am I? I have no idea who I am. And in saying that, the more I try and figure it out, the more the less I know about my own self, about everything starts coming undone, and you realize that you are just the assimilation of different aspects, influences that you have picked up from different people that you have molded into your own identity. But when there's the concept of you, your consciousness, like, you never actually know what you are. And I really do wonder if you think about this as much as I do as well. If you try and go out there, you try and do things by yourself, you try and have different experiences so you can sort of figure out who you actually are in life, but you never can. It's a fallacy. This quest for identity, this quest for finding out who you are, is just another fallacy that we build up. It's become like a pop culture image to find yourself, when I don't think you can ever actually find yourself. So I'm going to wrap that up there, because I know I'm rambling on and sort of just repeating myself now. So if there's anything to take away from this video, if you're still watching to this point, really, I guess, inspect who you are. Really ask yourself every day, who are you? What do you want in life? What does it mean to be you? How are you separate? And I think that is a very important question to inspect, because it sort of changes the course of your life when you figure out who you're not